yesterday we learned the Pythagorean theorem. Do you guys remember what my Pythagorean theorem formula was? Leg squared plus leg squared equals hypotenuse squared. All right. Leg squared plus leg squared equals hypotenuse squared. That was the Pythagorean theorem I gave you yesterday. And again, it reinforces that we don't care about the legs necessarily. The order of those doesn't matter. But what does matter is the hypotenuse. We definitely need to be equal to the hypotenuse squared, okay? Today we're doing Pythagorean theorem applications, which, again, you'll find perfectly easy just like yesterday. So that's kind of nice. But what you really want to do is really make sure you understand the picture. So you definitely want to draw the picture and write down your setup equation using our Pythagorean theorem, and then it's easy to solve. Many real-world problems can be modeled and solved using the Pythagorean theorem. When solving these problems, it's always helpful to draw a picture. And really take your time reading the problem. Make sure you really understand the question being asked. So we have a flat screen TV in the shape of a rectangle. So here I'm going to draw the shape of a rectangle. And this would be my TV, flat screen TV. Has a width of 36 inches. So 36 inches would go along the bottom. And a height of 20 inches. And so the height of that TV is 20 inches. We want to find the length of the diagonal. So this is the diagonal that we're looking to find. I'm going to call it D for diagonal. So I don't see a right angle anywhere, do you? Yeah, where's the right angle? In all the corners, absolutely. And we can assume that because they said it was a rectangle. So we certainly know that rectangles have 90-degree angles in the corners. Okay. So I see a lovely right triangle right here. So what should my setup be for my Pythagorean theorem? 36 squared plus 20 squared equals x squared. Yeah, I'm going to use D because I put a D there. The hypotenuse, I called it D for diagonal. You can use whatever letter you want. You could use X if you want to. But that leg squared plus leg squared equals my hypotenuse squared. And this is my hypotenuse. And so that is really important that we make sure that we're equal to the hypotenuse. Now, you guys, I don't have a calculator. Can you please tell me what 36 squared is? 1296, all right, plus 20 squared I know is 400, and so that is equal to D squared. I don't know what that is, so we can do the math here. 1296 plus 400 is 1696. And then how do we get D by itself? Square root. Yeah, we're going to square root both sides. So D, square root and square cancel out. And so what do we get? What is the square root of 1696? Yeah, D equals 41.2 inches. All right, great. So same thing we did yesterday with the Pythagorean theorem. Let's look at number two. Number two. A 20-foot piece of wire is attached from the top of a flagpole to a stake in the ground 8 feet from the base of the pole. So I'm going to draw a pole, a flagpole. So there's my flagpole. Here's my little flag. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. There we go. Let's see the blue star. Stripe. Do, 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 do. All right, and then we got some stripes. There we go. There we go. There we go. Look at that artwork. Look at us doing art in math. How about that? There we go. There we go. Wow, that's pretty good, huh? All right. So there's a beautiful flagpole. And it says a 20-foot piece of wire is attached from the top of the flagpole. So right up here at the top of the flagpole, there's a wire that goes to the ground. So the ground is down here, so I got to go, there we go, there's that. So, and it's a 20-foot piece of wire. So that wire is 20 feet long, and it's connected to a stake in the ground 8 feet from the base of the pole. Where does the 8 go? On the bottom. Yeah, so from the base of the flagpole, that's 8 feet. Well, is my picture to scale? No, of course not. It doesn't need to be. It doesn't matter. When you label it, that's what it is, okay? Regardless of what your picture looks like. And again, we are assuming that that flagpole is perpendicular to the ground. They didn't mention that it was like the Leaning Tower of Pisa at some weird angle, so we assume it's perpendicular. Okay, so we want to find the height of the flagpole, which means I'm going to make my flagpole maybe H for height. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. Ladies and gentlemen, where is the hypotenuse? The 20. The hypotenuse is 20. All right, there's my hypotenuse. If that's my hypotenuse, what should my equation be? Good. H squared plus 8 squared equals the hypotenuse squared, and our hypotenuse was 20. Really, that's the important part. We're always equal to the hypotenuse squared. I can't do anything with H squared, but I can. What 8 squared is? 64, and 20 squared is? 400. All right, now how do we solve this? Subtract the 64, good. So I get H squared equals, let's see, 336. And then how do we get the H by itself? Square root. Square root. All right, good, good, good. So we get the height of the flat. What is the square root of 336? 18.3. All right, so the height of the flagpole is 18.3 feet. Good? Yeah? All right. All right, we will do just 2 more, I think. That's fine. All right, number 3 and 4. A 14-foot ladder is leaning against a wall. If the base of the ladder is 6 feet from the wall, how high up the wall will the ladder reach? So let's see, I'm going to draw a wall. All right, here's a, God bless you. Here's a wall. There's my wall. There's my wall. All right, and then I got a 14-foot ladder is leaning against it. Okay, so there's this ladder. My ladder is 14 feet tall. That's my 14-foot ladder. I assume that must be the right angle. And then it says the base of the ladder is 6 feet from the wall. Where does the 6 go? On the bottom. Yeah, the base of the ladder, this is the base of the ladder where it's hitting the ground, is 6 feet from the wall. So that goes along the bottom. Really important you read carefully. And again, we want to know how high up the wall will the ladder reach. So we're looking to figure out how high, the height of how high up the ladder goes. All right, where's our hypotenuse? Yep, 14 is our hypotenuse again. And if that's the hypotenuse, what should my equation be? 6 squared plus 8 squared equals 14 squared. All right. So let's see. 6 squared is 36. I don't know what 8 squared is, so I'll leave that. What is 14 squared? 196. Very good. And then what should we do? Minus 36. Minus 36. Beautiful. So we get 8 squared equals 160. Yeah? And then how do we get H by itself? Square root. Square root. So we get H equals, 12.6 in our calculators. So that is 12.6, and the units they gave us were feet. So 12.6 feet. All right, question so far? You good? You good? All right, last one. Josh and Ben spotted a bear in the woods while riding their bikes. Oh my! Josh rode 3 miles north. All right, so Josh and Ben were right here. And let's see, Josh rode 3 miles north. So north I'm just going to call goes that. So that was 3 miles. He rode 3 miles north. And Ben rode 2 miles to the east. So east is to the right. So there's go 2 miles east. Okay. How far apart were the two boys? So that is this question. How far apart are they after their travels? That was 2 miles. All right, so I guess we want to find how far apart they were, which I guess I'll just call X, after their travels. All right, where's our hypotenuse? X is our hypotenuse. And if that's our hypotenuse, what's our equation? Equals X squared. Beautiful. All right, what is 3 squared? 9. What is 2 squared? 4. And 9 plus 4 is 13. And so how do we get X by itself? Square root, square root. So we get X equals 3.6, 3.6 miles. Fantastic, ladies and gentlemen. Do you have any questions for me? All right.